Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. I guess we better get our butts in gear and start working on this car because next Saturday night we got a 50 lapper and this is the car I want to enter in that race. So here we are. I pulled the engine and transmission out. It actually comes out pretty easily when you're taking it all out in one piece. Just unhook a few wires and stuff and out it comes. So I've done some preliminary measuring and this rail is knocked in about 2 inches. This should be over here. And this one likewise is knocked out and down. You can see here the big kink in it. You can even see there, that used to be plumb and now it's kind of like that. So anyway, we're gonna have a go at it here and see if we can get this thing straightened out. Lucky I've got some reference points. I've got an old car out the back, so basically you just find a landmark on the firewall and you measure diagonally from that over to this screw hole that's on every one of these cars, and we'll just keep moving it out until that dimension is correct. And then we'll pull this rail back over and shove it up to match. Now, I've pulled this thing so many times with tractors and come-alongs and farm jacks and stuff, and it's just getting to the point where it always kinks in the same spot and it just bends so easily now. So what I'm actually going to do is where it's kinked, we're going to cut it, and after we straighten it, we're going to fish plate it, and that'll get it its strength back, because I don't know if you can see that, but pretty wobbly. Anyway, let's get to work. So you can see in there where I sliced it right on the kink and pulled this rail back over this way. And the same with this one. I sliced it up through here and we lifted it up and pushed it back into the center of the car. So now I'm just going to make my final measurements to be 100% sure everything's where it needs to be. And we'll put fish plates over these and it'll be stronger like new. Alright, the left rail is straightened out. I measured, there's 2 points I compared on the other car. This is where this rivet is actually a factory hole where a clip goes, so it's in the same place on both cars. And I measured from there down to that hole, and from there, the center of that hole, the air conditioning drain, over to that hole. So if you can see, I'm coming from above it and below it. So if my two measurements, I've created a triangle. So not only do I know the rail is good that way, I also know it's good that way. And then as far as getting this one set up, we had to put this big slice in it. I lifted it up. This point is at the same height off the ground on both rails now. And if I look across them, they're both parallel in arc. And I also measured across right here, from here to here. And that measurement is the same as the other car. So we could basically go ahead and fish plate this joint now, and our rails will be good, and we can start reconstructing the hoop. That's looking a little more like a race car. Our front hoop is starting to take shape. I just have to build these uprights for the front corner here, but my all my batteries are dead, and I just don't feel like getting out corded drills. So while I wait for them to charge up, I'm going to go ahead and start finish welding all of this stuff, and we'll see where we go from there. Alright, we've got our engine rolled back under there, so it's going to be dinner time very shortly, and then I'll bring the cherry picker over and we'll lift it up and get her bolted back in. Well, the engine's in and sitting on the mounts. I ran into a little problem with the dog bone mount on the front, but it's getting late. I'll deal with that tomorrow. Something's just not quite lining up. I might have put the insert in the motor mount upside down. I have to see if I can find another one in the shed tomorrow. But aside from that, it's in. That's good. Everything looks, mostly straight. So we can carry on tomorrow, putting her back together. And it looks a lot better now than it did a couple of days ago, that's for sure. Well, now I feel much better. Everything's all put back together and it's running. So all I got to do tomorrow is put the sheet metal back on it and she's ready to rock. Woo, that was a busy week. Once it warmed up, it had a little oil leak from the oil filter area, but we found the problem and fixed it. So I was just running it a bit again, no more leak. Moving right along here, we're fitting all the front sheet metal back on it, and the last thing will be to get the nose on. We got the bumper bar all straightened out and back on, that's good. The only real issue I've still got is this fender has just got kind of a wow in it. So we're going to have to do our best to get it kind of jacked up. Because when I redid this, I engineered it so that the hood actually sits on this bar now. It's way better for the hood pins and stuff. And it leaves a little bit of a gap here. But we'll get that fixed up. Something cool you can see here. I did find a left fender in the barn because the left fender we took off was just, I think it's out of time. Don't know if I could straighten that one anymore. But this fender, I'm liking this fender. This is actually one of the original fenders that this car, this was on it when it was built. This is the original fender off this car. That's too cool. And what I noticed, so this fender was on it when it was a four fun car, a bone stock. It didn't have the holes for the hood hinge. That's how I know, because ever since it's been a mini stock, it's had those. But it did have, when it was a bone stock car, it did have the Lexan scrub rails. These are the same ones, and look at the dang holes line up. So I like that. I guess we got her straight enough, eh? Wow. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we're just fiddling around here. I just got this hinge installed. So now we're going to get the hood bolted back on and start seeing where things are fitting. Wow, it's going pretty good. That's the first test fit. The first test fit of the nose. And it seems to fit pretty well. I got to go in for lunch now. Very important. Barbecued hot dogs. We don't say no to that. Oh, there it is. All back together. All fixed. The nose, I think, is actually centered on the car for the first time in I don't know how long. It's level for the first time in I don't know how long. That fender still takes a little nosedive at the front, so it's still got a little dip over in that corner. But, I mean, you can look at the front of it, and it's not, it used to be droopy in this corner because the body was all shoved down. It was a mess. It's good now. Wow. Got all our ducting all fixed back up. Yeah, this is good. Now I'm going to get it out of here and clean up this garage. It's an unholy disaster. Oh, I just took it for a little road test around the farm and everything is good. The steering wheel is still straight. It's A-okay, man. So I'm declaring her race ready. So we'll see what she's got tomorrow night for 50 laps at Canada's toughest third mile. I can't wait. Anyway, until then, well, this has been quite a journey for the last few weeks with this old car. And I'm glad you've taken it with me. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time. So long.